Welcome back, guys. I know it's been a long time since we've last picked you guys up, but it has been snowing. It's been too cold. The roads have been awful. And we've personally been trying to work on something for our YouTube, everything, and for you guys. Possibly some stuff going on, some designs we've been working on. Hopefully you guys will like them. I just bought the first stuff that we're gonna be working on. We're gonna be wearing them in the videos, but we've been working on that a lot. And we're actually gonna be working on something new this week that you guys haven't really seen ever on the channel, really. But let's see, what could it possibly be? So, this is my dad's 1970 Ford Mustang Mach 1, original 428 Cobra Jet. He got this car just the end of senior year. So he's had this car over 30 years now. This is his third car that he owned, and he's kept it ever since. So, this car has a Ford 9-inch, 410 gears. Really low gear. 428 Cobra Jet, 4-speed. My mom actually blew up the 428 back in the 90s racing somebody. She blew it up, overwinded the engine. And right now what sits in it is a 390. It's a very tired 390. It's just, we just put it in just to get it going. And then we do have another 428 out back that we are going to hopefully be building this summer if things go good. That would be awesome to get this thing back to how it is. But pretty much what happened was about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, my brother and I, we wanted to take the car out, which we've already done before. I feel like he's already geeking back there, bro. So we've already done it before. And pretty much what happened was we were so close. It's a long story, but we moved everything out of here. We moved the Thunderbird out of the garage, all of this stuff in the middle of the garage out because Brandon's R2 was blocking the exit. We slid the Mach 1 over on dollies, and right when we were gonna go start it, Brandon hooked up the battery and didn't realize positive and negative, freaking burnt something. I went to go start it, I turned the key, I saw this smoke coming from like the solenoid battery area, and we were like, oh, and we just, quick popped everything off. And ever since then, there's been no power to the car. So pretty much what we did then was we swapped the solenoid. We tried seeing if that was it. That's not it. There's also there's a solenoid, and then there's this box right here that we also swapped out with one of our other cars, and that didn't change anything. So our next thing is, it's probably I'm going blank. I forget the name of it, what it's called. But basically one of the wires that runs back to the starter and everything like that. One of the main wire leads to the back. So pretty much what we're gonna do is when Dad gets here, because I'm not breaking this thing any more than it's already broken. When Dad gets here, we're gonna put a test light up to it with a battery, and we're gonna try and see if we can figure out which wire is broken, and at that point we should be able to fix it. We checked all the fuses are fine. So clearly one of the wires going back is what burnt before it hit the fuse. Shouldn't be actually too bad. We're gonna try to get that going, and not this video, probably not gonna get it done. It's Friday, this has to be out tomorrow. But next video, hopefully we will have this thing running and driving. But even if we do, we can't take it out because the roads are salty and the snow. So that's kind of a pain. But that's pretty much the backstory on what this car is, where it came from. This is the car I like grew up in, and I think of like just me as a kid and like knowing cars and getting into cars. I think of this. This is like just childhood right here. So yeah, that's pretty much this video. We're actually gonna, while we wait for him, we're gonna go over to my car and replace the oil line that broke when we did the engine mounts, and maybe we'll do some stickers on the back or whatever. Get a cold start, and yeah, just fool around a little bit. All right, so there has been a lot of, you know, hate and everything on the pulls and shifts and everything like that. A lot of you guys are actually kind of slow. You know, flat foot shifting is not good for your car at all. I think a lot of people understand that, but there's no point in ruining your trans flat foot shifting when you're saving literally nothing. You're saving no time at all. Lifting between a shift, you're gonna save your trans and you can still do it fast, as long as you're a good driver. The Mustang in that video on Milky's page was, first, it was the break-in. I did not have the rev limiter that high. It was only at 5,500 RPMs. I have it now at 6. That was the break-in on that car. And also, it's hard to bang shift or shift fast when you're all the way up here trying to reach. And then there was another guy that said, you know, it's not fast because you're holding the steering wheel at the top. Bro, are we serious? Are we seriously making claims on it being fast or not by we're holding the steering wheel on the big 2.6? That is crazy work, bro. I know how to drive. I think holding it up here is more comfortable for the Mustang. Holding it at the side is more comfortable for the Subaru. It's just preference on the car. But I do plan on making another video, banging the Mustang as hard as I can. But flat foot shifting, you don't need to do. You only do flat foot shifting if you don't know how to drive. So that's just being honest. The other video about 87 or 93, first off, the car originally takes 87 from factory. That's what the car would take. The only reason why you should ever run 93 is if you have high compression or if you have a turbo car. I don't need to stay away from knock. You don't make any more horsepower with 93 or 87. You can watch a Chris Fix video on that if you want to, if you don't believe me. The only way that you'd ever make horsepower from gas is like E85 or a really, really high octane for really high output cars. This build on the Mustang is very mild. It does not need 93. I don't need to stay away from knock. I'm not running any high compression. It's just heads, cam, and rockers and all that stuff. Top end stuff, no higher compression. The heads might add a little bit more compression, but cost to, you know, staying away from knock, the car doesn't knock. So that's just a few things I want to sum up for you guys on shifting, on what gas to run, and horsepower. Those videos of the two Subarus, the Subaru and the Evo racing, I can show you guys dyno sheets of those two cars. The Evo was making like 618 and the Subaru is making 608. People saying it's not making 600 horsepower, bro, come on. Like, you can't tell you're making 600 horsepower when you're moving at the same speed. You're right next to each other. Of course you can't tell it's 600 horsepower. But if I race, you know, my Mustang versus that, I think you can tell there's a 300 horsepower difference there. So there's a few things. I think some people misconfuse, you know, a lot of that stuff. The only time you should do flat foot shifting is if you have the tune in your car like a Cobalt SS. That's the only time. Otherwise, you're doing it for no reason. You're not saving any time. Just learn how to drive, bro. All right, so this is the oil gauge with all the lines and stuff. I'm not using this oil gauge. We bought this at one of our local swap meets in Allentown, PA, and it was $10 for the entire kit. The only thing I need is actually the brass fittings to be able to reclamp the oil line to the engine. That's all I need. So all this is basically useless, but we might use it for another build. We might use it just as like our test, you know, oil thing, whatever. Just screw it in, screw it out. But now that we're over in this garage, before we go over to the third garage for my Mustang, this garage, Brandon's working on his MR2. As you can see, we've taken a little pause on it because again, it's been so freaking cold and all that. But the truck over here, this is my brother's truck. This is his first truck that first truck, whatever you want to say it, first vehicle he ever had. He burnt up the distributor, had points, left the radio running, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, we're going to be just like 302 swap with like a manual T5, and we're just going to get it going and doing burnouts and stuff. So that is probably going to be, again, summertime. But yeah, right now we're just focusing on some other stuff, but this truck will be running this year. We want to have it for his wedding. We want to have it for his wedding where he could drive in and all that stuff. So that will happen. Brandon will take a pause on the MR2 if he has to get this thing running in time. So that's all we're going to talk about. This is all I need right here. My hands are stinking purple because it's so cold. It's just, yeah, these oil fittings and everything. So that's all we're going to need. And we'll go next door. We'll put it on and we'll get a cold start. All right, so we are at the other garage, the third garage. And this is pretty much the compression fittings. So what happens is you got these two fittings, and what slides inside of here is one of these little guys, and they only get compressed once, so you can't mess it up. And basically that slides in there. The tube slides through this hole, and then you take this, you thread it onto here, and it will tighten that fitting. And then you take this and just slide it into the little thing in the front there, and that's how you would get your oil line back and forth, pretty much. So pretty much what happened was we broke the oil line, and we didn't have any more of these little compression fittings to reuse because you can only use them once. So we had to buy more of those, and in that kit comes with these, so we're just going to use new ones. And yeah, it's cold out here, guys. It's like 15 degrees. My hands are like purple and they hurt. It's cold. It's still snowing slightly, and yeah, so we're trying to get this done, and we'll try to get a cold start. I'll look at the yacht to see exactly how cold it is, so that you guys know what degree weather this thing's starting in right now. It's so bad. All right, so we've fixed the line. I'm gonna start it. It's like 15 degrees out here, and we're gonna see if it's still leaking or not. Milky's gonna let you guys know. Well, let me know. But yeah, let's just see if it starts. So we fixed the leak. Clearly it didn't leak. Oil pressure would look great. It is so cold. I held it, you know, there's no choke. I was holding it to try to get it to warm up so I could let it just idle for a little bit, but it was so cold it didn't want to freaking idle. I held it probably for like a minute at like probably 2,000 RPMs.
Yeah, you want to show the people how cold it is?
Yeah, it is 23 degrees out. Feels like 17. And it's going to be 7 degrees tonight. Extremely cold morning.
Yeah.
It's just one of those colds where it's just bitter cold. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it might only be 23 degrees, but it's just so bone chilling out here. It's crazy. So, but anyways, we fixed the leak. That's good. Now I have oil pressure again. Don't need to worry about that. And yeah, so now she's good to go for now. And then we're going to be mocking up soon the rims and tires, cutting, making the new ones fit nice and flush. I have my side scoops. We're going to install those right here. It's just a big side scoop that goes like this. That's easy. That'll look good. And interior, new gas cap, and an idea of turning this green because everyone wants to say, oh, it's too close to noise complaint. Not my fault. The car's damn blue. Like, so if you guys want it to be different, I'll take it back to the original green that it was. So the roof is still green underneath this. We'll just have to scuff this down and paint it green. And I think it would actually look pretty cool. So we're going to possibly do that coming up spring, summertime. But yeah, it's good.
Guys, editor here. We didn't record any more than that because it got too cold. My toesies were frozen, and we ultimately decided to work on the Mach 1 another day. So you will not see that in this video, unfortunately. But we we do have something in store for tomorrow at the time of filming this. So we are going to be checking out something cool, another car, maybe. And we're going to see how that goes. So I will not disclose any more than that, but stay tuned. That is all the content we were able to shoot. So keep a lookout and subscribe. Apologies for the direct cut because, of course, weather happens. And we still want to get a video out for you guys today or, well, on Saturday. So there we go. So Wicked Treatment out.